Hi everybody, this week's video is entitled How to Get Answers from Signs and Symbols. So firstly, in order to really see, acknowledge, appreciate and understand the signs and symbols, we need to understand that we are more than just a physical world. We're more than just a physical dimension. So if we're going to view everything as black and white and boundaried and it has parameters and it's held in the space of the physical dimension, we're not going to open ourselves up to the magic that exists beyond the veil, beyond this physical dimension, in between the lines, in between the words, through the spaces, through nature, through that thing beyond time and space. So we need to open ourselves up to the possibility that there is more to life than what meets the physical eyes. That's the first thing that we need to be aware of. The second thing is find a question that you have. So get super clear and crystal clear on what is this question that you really want answered. Because if you're looking for an answer, if your question is distorted or ambiguous, the answer that's going to come back to you in signs and symbols will be distorted and ambiguous. The more clear your question is, the clearer the answers will come in the form of signs and symbols. Okay, so if, just an example of that, if you've ever watched somebody being interviewed on TV and the person interviewing them is asking them an ambiguous question, the answer that's going to come back is often going to be ambiguous as well. But those really, really brilliant and powerful journalists are the ones that hit straight to the point, ask crystal clear questions so that there's no ambiguity that can come back from the person being interviewed. It works the same when we are asking our own questions from beyond the veil. So I'm going to share with you some things that I do in order to receive my answers in the form of signs and symbols. One thing is I go for a conscious walk. So once I've thought of my question, I will take perhaps 20 minutes and I will find a place in nature that starts at point A to point B. And in between that walk from point A to point B, as I'm walking, I will be consciously present of every single thing that I see, feel, sense, touch, hear in nature while I'm walking for that 20 minutes. I don't question a thing. I don't try and work it out. I just receive. So it's very important to be present in that moment and to have that crystal clear question in your mind. You do this walk, you finish the walk, and then you journal down everything that you saw, felt, sensed, touched, experienced, smelt, etc. And that begins to inform the story of what the answer is. Okay? It's amazing how the signs and the symbols become super clear to you when you are conscious and present to looking for them and seeing what's coming into your consciousness at the time when you have asked the question. So a 20-minute conscious walk is the first thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do is once you have your question, you can spend an entire day dedicated to everything that you experience during that day, everything that you see, every word, everything somebody says to you. You take that as an answer or bits of an answer that will inform the whole answer to your question. And when you get home in the evening, again, it's about being totally conscious and mindful throughout that entire day to what colors you're seeing, what people are saying, what adverts are coming into your awareness, etc. You make a note of all these things, and that begins to also inform a story as to what the answer to your original question is. Another thing that you can do is be on the lookout for any messages from nature or from animals or insects, because they are constantly bringing us the medicine of the answers. Okay, so if you have a question in your mind that you've been pondering for a while, be aware of what catches your eye from animals or from nature, or maybe like a sign on a tree, or the way the wind feels in your hair or blows at a certain time when you're thinking about that thing. Because they're going to keep bringing in these answers through nature and through, in particular for me, it's actually through animals. So something that happened with me recently was I was pondering this thing in my mind, and there was this, I'd kind of forgotten about this thing I was pondering, but I was aware that I'd been pondering it, and then literally like a day or two later, I saw this praying mantis on the word humility, and it really jumped out at me, and I knew in that instant that what I was being shown or told was that the answer to my question was to actually have humility and to drop into that surrendered, humble side of myself in order to navigate through that situation. So it's really, really, really powerful. Another thing that happened with me with animals was I was sitting on the beach last week, and another question I was pondering, and I kept getting this feeling of a rainbow, and I was like, oh, it's got something to do with a rainbow, I'm not really sure what it means. And then I was driving in my car later on that day, and I saw these whales across the bay, and they blew air out of water out of themselves. They blew water out of themselves into the air, and then as the water came out into the air, it turned into a rainbow. And I was like, oh, it's coming back, it's coming again. It is about the rainbow. And for me, I interpreted it as it's inclusive of everything. You know, the rainbow has all the colors. So the answer to my question was, it's inclusive of everything, what I need to do in order to do my work better. It's got to really include everybody, like a rainbow does. Another thing that you can do is your dreams will bring in the answers for you in an amazing way as well when you're conscious of what the question is. So you write your question down, that crystal clear question. You can leave it in your journal or even put it under your pillow. And at night time, then when you go to sleep, you have your dreams. Even if you're somebody who thinks that you don't remember your dreams, even if you just write down a color or a feeling or a sense or a word, or maybe you are somebody who has really amazing dreams, write everything down in the morning and do that for a few days, and then begin to see how that informs the story to your answer, what your original question was. Another way, and this is such a common and popular way to get answers, is through technology. Through songs that you hear on the radio, through technology, through things that come through the internet. Suddenly you'll see like an article there on your Facebook page, or you'll hear somebody speaking about something on an advert, and you just know that to be the answer to this question that you have. Technology is an incredible feeder of signs and symbols, because it exists outside of this reality. It exists in a way that can reach out beyond the veil and bring in the answers for you through that form of connection. So really be aware of songs that come through technology, anything that comes through technology in relation to the question that you are pondering. And cars and number plates and stuff. Often if I'm driving along, I'll see a word on a number plate or a sign on a car. Just yesterday, I was thinking about something and I was just really pondering it. And then as I was driving, this car pulled in front of me. I was a bit irritated. But then I looked up and I saw that it had the words Amazing Grace on the back of it. And I was like, wow. This is just another reminder that amazing grace is working with me to help me with these questions, and I need to have faith that my questions are being answered, even though maybe now I don't have the exact answer to these questions. So I think the key here in all of this is just you've got to have that question, and you've got to be conscious and open and aware to everything in your surroundings. What somebody says, what somebody in the shopping line, you hear somebody say something and you're like, oh, yes, that's my answer. And to acknowledge that answer when it comes to you, and to give thanks for that answer when it comes to you, and then take action on that, The answers are there for us all the time, and you will find the way that works best for you in accessing your answers and your signs and your symbols. So let this be a time of pure awareness of receiving answers, receiving knowledge, wisdom, and navigating your life forward in that way. Lots of love. Bye.